All right, we're going to talk about two things that came out in the data mine from yesterday. We're going to talk about Agent Coulson and Agent Coulson's kit, and then we're going to talk about some potential modification to the room bonuses in Alliance Wars, or maybe the upgrade rooms. I am not sure. And there's also something called Barrier popping up in the data mine, which suggests maybe we're going to get some sort of extra health, maybe like a shield bar above the top. That would be very interesting. That definitely changed things up a minute in the game. Now, before we get into the kit for Agent Coulson, which is right here behind me, just want to say everything in the data mine is subject to change. Basically, developers were working on things, and when they're working on things, it gets put in the data mine. It's inside of the raw code of the game. People download the raw code, and they find things that weren't there before. They find little nuggets of things like here, like some artwork for Agent Coulson, and we just don't know if that is going to actually make it into the game. It's kind of like a work in progress. So when I see data mine information, I say everything is subject to change. It more or less could end up like this, but I think the real advantage to looking at information inside the data mine is we get an idea what the developers are working on, what could be coming in the near term. Maybe this stuff hasn't been play tested, maybe it needs to be fine-tuned, maybe they're working on the numbers, but it's definitely a direction for where the game is going, possibly for the next patch. So first things first, Agent Phil Coulson looks absolutely insane. Over the top good in Alliance Wars, specifically on defense. And I know for me, I have been using shield on offense, but Agent Coulson is going to give more sustain, more nastiness, and this is just going to be crazy good with Nick Fury. Some of this stuff looks absolutely insane and crazy. We'll start with the basic chain. Due to 4 enemies for 230% damage, 180% damage to secondary, 100% chance for turn meter rewind on hit. So that's where they knock down the turn meter. It doesn't even say crit there, which is kind of interesting. I thought it would say a 20% rewind on a crit, but it says on a hit. Now, I suppose that could be resisted, and that is fine, but that still seems very good. His passives is where it gets absolutely crazy. Believe me, special starts at 4 energy, 200% damage to primary, 150% damage to 10 other enemies. Steal 4 buffs to give to Nick Fury. Okay, now I need to explain why that's awesome, because Nick Fury can spread the buffs to the entire team on his middle ability. Flip those 4 only in Alliance Wars defense, then remove everything else, not just A War defense. So, boy, that clears all the positive effects from the other team, potentially gives 4 of those buffs to Nick Fury, who could give them to the rest of the team. What do you think? Do you think that's pretty good? I think that's very good. Again, we will see if this actually comes into play. I don't know. Let's go to the ultimate now. Starts with 5 energy. Defense down on primary enemy. Defense down is always good. Minus 50% defense. Very good. Call for 2 assists from non-summons. If shield gives offense up, give team deflect. 280% damage to everyone. All right, now this is where it gets like crazy bonkers good. And I imagine that this might even be useful in Blitz and maybe inside of the arena, but specifically defense on territory wars, it looks like where he's going to shine. His passive, assist chance 20%, and all shield ally attacks. When Nick Fury is attacked, gain counterattack, and shield allies gain 10% HP. I like it a lot. Alliance War defense, proc taunt on security, shield security when Nick Fury is attacked. I like it a lot. I really like it a lot. Alliance Wars, 20% chance per shield ally to assist on non-damaging attacks like Punisher. So that complements the ability of their assist chance 20% on all shield allies attacks, but when there are non-attacks, like when Medic does their heal or shield operative does the stealth move, there's also going to be a 20% chance per shield ally to assist on non-damaging attacks. So it's kind of like Punisher. I think that's pretty awesome. What do you think? I think it's going to be very good, frankly. I've heard rumors that this Agent Phil Coulson was going to be over the top amazing. Now, this did come out in the data mine last night, and I did see some other pictures, so hopefully this will come in the next update. Now, the next batch of information has to do with Alliance Wars, and I'm not sure if these abilities are changes in the rooms, or the way the rooms work, or if they're global buffs, or if they're upgrades, because, there's that upgrade button for something that's coming. So I'm not really 100% sure, but some of them look very interesting, especially the hangar mode right there. But like we can read from the top right there, it says Medbay increases health regeneration by 10%. That sounds like an upgrade, but maybe that's a global effect. Armory increases all bio characters damage by 3%. It doesn't seem like a lot. That seems like that number could be in flux, or that could be a boost. But 3% damage doesn't seem like a meaningful amount typically, unless that's like per upgrade, and then that starts getting stronger and stronger. Weapons, Alliance Room Weapon, which is a new room, increased defenders by 4%, and then Room Hangar. Destruction disables enemies' attacks for 1 minute. Now, I just want to stress on how important that is. There's this game where you beat a strong team, and then there's a race to either hold the team, or on the other side, they're trying to put up deflect for the team behind. But if you have a 1 minute delay, that means on defense, you're going to be able to apply the deflect to them, which makes the team much harder to beat. Boy, really a lot harder. That could change everything. It really could change everything. That is kind of a big deal. Reactor, damage by 5%. Barracks, defenders' health by 10%. Cargo, war loot by 5%. Alliance Room Deck 1, energy regeneration by 10%. Deck 2, 8%. Deck 3, war energy by 15%, and the science lab damage by 5%. Now, I don't know about you, but I really like Alliance Wars. I like how you have to think, room placement, taking out this. It's also a game of finding the armory first, but this changes everything, and this also shows that there's going to be some flexibility in the game modes. And I know for me, just looking at the power levels of the other team, it's been tricky. It's kind of hard to gauge whether you can win or lose. It's been a learn curve because it does seem a lot different from Blitz, and the way the matches are very different depending on the bonuses in each given battle. I find it very mentally stimulating, and we're going to have to see where this all goes, because the hangar is going to be pretty annoying and kind of a big deal. Right now, it seems like it's the armory is the one to get to first. It seems like a lot of the battles, whoever gets to the armory first wins. And I just want to go back to the Coulson kit is, there's so much sustain here on Agent Coulson. We've got an additional character that does some sort of healing, like when you attack Nick Fury, everybody's going to gain 10%, and that is on this passive, Shield Allies gain 10%. I was thinking maybe take out Shield Assault. You get rid of that because the Dispel is kind of wonky anyways. I don't know who to take out, but, if you'd have a lot of sustain if you're running Shield, Security for the taunt, Medic for the heals and the revive, Nick Fury because you have to run Nick Fury, Phil Coulson, and then lastly running the Shield Operative. I don't know. I kind of mixed feelings between the Shield Operative and or the Shield Assault. And the reason maybe I would want to keep the Assault over the Operative is because Nick Fury does summon the Operative at times. So maybe that is better. We're going to have to play with it, but I am looking forward to any and all of this. S.H.I.E.L.D. is already an amazing team. In my opinion, S.H.I.E.L.D. is the best, most well-rounded team in all game modes. All of them across the board. But yeah, of course, Ultron is God-tier character, and Brotherhood is amazing on offense. But as far as all around, in many different game modes, we're talking like Alliance Wars, Arena, Raids, Dark Dimension, Fear of the Darkness, all that stuff. It seems like S.H.I.E.L.D. has really got a monopoly on some of the best teams. All right. Well, Well, what do you think? I'm excited. What do you think about the new Avengers movie? Did y'all see it? I wonder when we could start talking about it and spoiling the movie. I very, very much enjoyed the movie. I mean, of course, you have to see the movie if you're a remote Marvel fan. I do have some issues with some small things, and I kind of wanted to talk about it on the channel. Maybe a discussion about some of the small things, because I was a huge fan of Infinity War. That movie was almost perfect to me. And even though I was very satisfied with the ending of Endgame and the way the resolution worked out, there's just some small things that annoyed me in the movie that kind of took away from the fantasy. You know how when you sit down in a movie and you disappear and you get sucked in? There were moments where I was kicked out to reality, which did not happen in Endgame. However, the movie being 3 hours long, I most certainly didn't seem like a 3-hour movie. All right, guys, thanks for watching and keep on gaming.